Hey everyone, welcome back to String, Cheese, and Applesauce, where today we're going to do a durability test of this Lego City logging truck. So this set pretty much comes with everything you see here. It's the logging truck, some logs, little crane, a couple minifigures. One's working the crane, the other one's driving the truck. So we're going to just kind of do some general playing with it and see how durable it stands up to some play. And then we'll go ahead and do a couple little drop tests and see what happens if it accidentally hits the floor. So first thing I'm gonna do is just kind of, so just holding on to this thing that popped off. And funny it popped off because it's actually held on by the windshield too. So that is a loose connection. So you have one little modified plate with studs on the side, and then this same piece connects up under the windshield, but it's not a strong enough connection to actually hold it on very well. So that's our first little weak spot of the model. So running my hand down the side, obviously our little bars here that hold the logs in place have popped off, and there goes all the logs. And we knocked the minifigure out of the seat, so just kind of moving your hand up against it. Shovel popped off. Oops, there goes one of those things. So not super sturdy. Let me go ahead and put these pieces back in there, on there, and see other tests we can do real quick. Okay, so we have it all put back together. Let's see how well it does when I just pick it up from random spots on the model and see if it holds on. See, here's why I do this, because kids sometimes they don't want to grab it like on the side or under the bottom. They'll kind of pick it up from the top. So I will pick it up right here at the top on this crane piece and see if it actually holds together. Yeah. So these little bricks with the little clip pieces are actually pretty sturdy. You can see I'm holding it up in the air by holding onto that claw. So that's a pretty sturdy connection, believe it or not. What about back here? Not bad. Still a sturdy connection. So the chains have got to be weak. No? I mean, that one kind of popped off, but surprisingly they have a lot of clutch power to be able to lift a whole truck by just I'm just pinching the middle of this chain right here, and you can see the whole truck is being lifted up. So that's pretty good clutch power. What about this little jail door? Oh, so you pick that up, the roof comes off. So you don't pick it up by the jail door. Same with the roof. You don't necessarily grab this model from the roof unless you want to access the minifigures. So then it pops off. So lifting it, it's really not that bad. You can lift it almost anywhere except for the roof part. And that's surprising. It looks kind of flimsy with just these bars, but lifting them straight up is obviously gonna hold pretty well. It was when we hit them going that way, you can see it already kind of popped off. So if you accidentally bump one of those, you can see they pop off pretty easily. So hey, not bad for playability wise. Tip it over a few times. The standard issue coffee mug fell out of the cab. No, it's a pretty sturdy model for play. Let's see how well it does being dropped on some surfaces. Alright, so here we go. The scenario is we're in the bedroom, on carpet, playing with it. We pick it up and we accidentally drop it. How well is this going to hold up? Let's find out. Well, not too bad. Our crane piece fell off. And, well, that coffee mug is not wanting to stay in the cab. So putting this crane piece back on is pretty simple. Clip it back on there. And we're good to go. Looks like everything else withstood pretty well. Let's go ahead and give it one more drop just to see what happens. I'm going to kind of go on the side. So we have it lifted up and here we go. That one took a little bit more damage. Coffee mug out again. But really the only thing that really happened was the one of these vertical members that holds the logs on popped off, which we saw that with just the normal play. And coffee mug came out of the cab again, and the little chainsaw came unclipped from the side here where it clips on. So not that bad. Let's see, it clips on right there. Let's go ahead and drop this on some wood and see how it does. Alright, so here is what is left from dropping it on the hardwood floor. And you know, I'm really shocked at how much this fell apart being dropped on the hardwood floor. It just goes to show how a durable model can seem as durable as could be on almost any test, and then it falls apart when it hits something hard. But that's also showing that, you know, be careful, don't drop it on a hard surface or else it will fall apart. So let's look at the weak spots from the drop test on the hardwood floor. Just like we saw on some of the other tests, these vertical bars came off, but unlike our other tests, you can see this modified plate actually stayed on three of the spots, whereas our other tests we saw them came off together like this. So I found that to be a little different, that just the little cylinder piece popped off on the drop test versus all the other tests. Both the plate and the cylinder came off. So we knew those were weak spots. I figured that was going to be the only thing that popped off, but I was wrong. So obviously the shovel right back here on the back. Now here's the thing that surprised me. Right here down the middle of this chassis, the whole front cab popped off. And the cab actually just popped off in one solid piece. You can see some of the plates are kind of loose. Squeeze those back down. And our other fender came off as well. You see a loose plate right there. Kind of squeeze that together. Now we noticed that this was weak in the very beginning, but it completely stayed on. So depends on the places it's hit and how it falls. Oh, and one other piece, this part right here, goes right up under there. So we'll squeeze all those together. Put the cab back on, all in one piece. And that's that. Now the other thing that was different that we didn't see in our other tests was the crane piece fell off. So you can see it's basically a brick that has a little axle hole in the bottom. It's actually a Technic brick because it does have a pin on the side over here. It's a Technic brick with a pin. And those Technic bricks have axle holes in the center. And the axle hole slides right over this axle that's back here on this turntable. So, pop that back on. We're good there. Chainsaw's a little loose. Drop our logs back in there. They just fell out. Nothing came apart from the log. And of course, the red mug flew out of the cab again. Oh, and look, our little levers got squished down. So our worker that was sitting back here, he flew out. Didn't have a seatbelt on. So he flew out and the levers got squished. Alright, so there you go. We put it all back together. So definitely don't drop it on the hardwood floor. But other than that, it's a very, very sturdy model. Feel comfortable letting your kids play with it pretty much anywhere, anytime. Just keep it away from hardwood floors or tile or any other hard surface. So that's it for this video. Tell me what your thoughts are on this durability test. Do you have this model? Do you find it to be pretty durable? Let me know. Don't forget to subscribe, check out our other videos, and we will see you next time.